Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I would love to educate you on the best videos that you need for business growth when it comes to saving time, saving money, and earning more bottom line revenue. These videos are accompanied by insane statistics that are going to blow your mind and make you rethink everything if you don't use video in your sales process or marketing already. And if you do, hopefully this will give you more actionable ideas to act on to be able to see an even higher conversion rate and save even more time. So, who is this going to be for? This is going to be for companies doing a million or more in revenue annually. Ideally, you might be the business owner yourself, a marketing director, or a sales team lead. When you get this information, run back to your team and tell them to implement it right away. These statistics are going to blow you away. So, why is video so powerful and what statistics accompany video? Well, I'll tell you why video is so powerful is because it's the closest thing you can get to being in person, which allows you to build massive trust with people that have never met you. And not to mention, a lot of people still don't use it. So you're going to stand out in your industry. So just having videos on your website and funnels are going to lead to an 80% increase in website traffic, as proven by WordStream. And you are also going to have 157% higher organic traffic from people coming from search engines. So even if your conversion rate stays the same, even if your salespeople do the same, the increased traffic is going to lead to increased sales. On top of that, when people are just reading text on your website, you just have big blocks of text, only 10% of that information is retained. Versus when you're watching a video much like this, you are going to retain 95% of the information. And so it doesn't matter if someone really needs you, if they only remember 10% of what they saw and they happen to get busy, they're probably not going to come back to your website and completely go through the funnel. And the biggest statistic of all is that 88% of people are convinced to buy after watching a video. And that's a study done by Wise Owl. Just imagine if people land on your website and if they watch a video, 88% of them are going to buy or at least book an appointment. How insane is that? You're not increasing your advertising dollars. You're not doing any sort of crazy dances on TikTok. This is all just a byproduct of having video on your website. So here's a quick look at the 6 videos I'm going to go over. And then at the end, I'll give you a practical example. A little bit about me. I have almost a decade of video production experience. And right now, I help a lot of my business clients integrate video into their sales and operations so that they can scale with the modern age. It just irks me inside when I visit a company's sales funnel or website and there's no video at all, knowing that it leads to a crazy increase in sales. So let's go over the first video that I produce with my clients. This is a brand story video, or otherwise known as a brand video. This is evergreen and this will never die. Unless you completely change your business, you produce this once and it is utilized for years to come. So if you plan to stay in business for over a year, over 5 years, over 10 years, the longer you're in business, the more money this makes you. So this is a video that covers why you do, what you offer, how you're different, all in an effort to excite the viewer, get them into an emotional state, and at the very end, you give them a call to action, whether to book an appointment or to buy something, and they are more likely to do that. We all know that people buy from people they know, like, and trust, and this video does just that in 2 minutes or less. You can think of it as a clone of your best salesperson ever, giving the best elevator pitch to all of your leads, and now they know who you are, and they like you. Very, very easy. And this is almost all these videos can be shortened and turned into clips for your social media. And of course, the more posts you make on social media, the more eyeballs you get. The more eyeballs you get, the more website visitors. The more website visitors who see your video, 88% of them buy. So next, video employee spotlights. So I like these because they put a face to the people in your business who make the company great. Specifically for my home service companies where they send sales reps to the house. Imagine that lead got a video introducing them to the salesperson coming to their house. Now they trust them more, especially since they're coming to their place where they want to protect their family. And the show up rate is increased. They're no longer going to say, hey, like, we didn't know you were coming, or hey, we're good, never mind. We've humanized who's coming to their house. And the more you know someone, like the less you're going to shoo them away like they're not a person at all. So, of course, increased appointment show up rate means increased sales. Client testimonials. So these are really good, especially for my high ticket service people. They're going to be the best ever sales tool because the best salesperson is a satisfied customer, and video is the closest thing you can get to being in person. So imagine you had all your leads in a line at a booth, and one by one, your lead would come up to your booth. And it's not you talking to them. It's not a salesperson. It's the best ever customer you've ever had. And they're just so excited to tell them all about you. So this is a big increase in trust and big social proof. This might be that last thing that gets them over the edge to book an appointment or buy. Now, educational videos. We've all seen them. We're all on YouTube all the time, whether we're wasting time or we want to better ourselves. And these establish authority and they educate your leads. This is an excellent example I have here by River Pools. The reason why it's excellent is because they only sell fiberglass pools, but they make videos talking about the differences between their products and products they don't even sell. So you're telling me that someone in the market for a pool is researching and they found this unbiased authority figure that answers all their questions. Who do you think they're going to buy a pool from? Right? So this can also be clipped down into shorter videos and build trust over time. Not to mention these videos live on YouTube for years, decades to come. One person might see it in 1 week, 2 people next week, 10 people next week, 100 people next week. It's a snowball. And if it's good content, it's almost free marketing. It's almost illegal. I also like process videos. And I love using the example of, let's say you want to cross a river. You see a trail of rocks that lead to the other side. You get closer and you notice that the trail ends about 80% of the way there. Are you going to attempt to cross? Probably not. Same thing with a process video. If you have a lengthy process or your customer is often unfamiliar with all of the little details of your services or product, if you can show them start to finish what it's like to work with you, they are more likely to begin the journey. And an uncertain and confused potential customer will never buy. So this gets rid of all of that. Now let's switch gears and talk about saving time. A lot of that was sales related and increasing conversion rates. So employee training videos, we've all seen the old ones from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They're a little bit weird, right? But hey, they work. They save hundreds of hours on one-on-one training, thousands of dollars in wasted labor time. If you hire a certain position all the time and you have less headaches, and the more you hire for a position that you have a training video for, the lower the average training cost becomes. So if you expect to scale, if you expect to be successful and grow and hire more people, this video is only going to become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as you're going to save more money with training. So let's do a real world example of a roofing company, right? Really easy numbers because I love easy. And let's say this roofing company gets 1,000 website visitors. Their conversion rate to get an appointment is 10%. So they get 100 booked appointments a month. Their sales conversion is 10%. So they get 10 new customers a month. And out of that 10 customers, they make 100K gross revenue or 20K net profit at a 20% profit margin. Now, let's look at what it looks like if they have videos on their website, building trust with their leads, educating them, and getting them into a heightened emotional state. So let's use the proven statistic, which this is 80%. The statistic I shared with you earlier was 88%. So using this 80% example, they would book an additional 80 booked appointments a month. They would get 8 additional new customers a month. They would get $80,000 additional gross revenue a month, which would lead to an additional $16,000 net profit a month. At the end of the day, they're making 80% more annual net profit. Now, what would you do with that 80% additional net profit? Maybe you would scale the business. Maybe you'd buy a nice car. Who knows? Maybe you get a promotion if you're in marketing department. We'll see. But let's do a more conservative example because the 88% statistic is just so insane. I'm sure some of you don't even believe it. So let's go really conservative with 30%. So if you have videos on your site, you get 30% more appointments. You get 30 additional appointments a month, 3 additional new customers on top of the 10. You get a 30K additional gross revenue a month, 6K additional net profit a month with an increase at the end of the year of 30% more net profit. Still very sizable, and depending on the video production team you go to, you're going to make a return on your investment at some point in time. So I often ask myself, am I doing the right thing for my business today? There's hundreds of things you can do on top of these videos that, are taking up your attention and time. So one of the great books that I read recently, actually a few years ago, if you haven't read this, please check it out. It's called The One Thing. And the main concept they push is to ask yourself, what is the one thing that you can do that'll make everything else easier or unnecessary? Well, evergreen videos seems to be high up on that list as they increase your conversion rate without needing to spend more on advertising, never-ending ROI, hundreds of hours saved, thousands of dollars saved as well. You get to stand out in your industry, you get to build more trust with your leads, and you get more organic traffic. Seems to be one of those things that makes everything easier or unnecessary. So hopefully you got something out of that. I know a lot of you watched it for the education. You might already have your own in-house team, and maybe you want me to consult you, maybe not. Maybe you don't have anyone, and it would make sense to explore a conversation. I do free 15-minute consultations to figure out if we're a good fit to work together. If not, totally fine, but you can find that link either in the description on YouTube or on my website. Would love to chat with you, and I hope you got something out of this. Have a good one.